Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you some plants that I've had in acrylic yarn medium for quite some time and show you how well they're doing. This one, the first one I'm going to show you is the Coleus back here. It has been in acrylic yarn for over a year, either around a year or over a year. I can't remember when it was originally put into the acrylic, but yeah. And yes, it's leggy. Yes, I've forgotten about it because I I water it because it's in a self-watering container, and you can see the yarn chains down there, and they go into the yarn that's in the actual self-watering pot. And yeah, forget about it. It's right up against a north-facing window, but as you can see, the colors are great. And yes, it's leggy because I haven't been pruning it to make it bushy, but that has not stopped it. Doing very, very well. I don't fertilize this plant as much as I probably should. I've been kind of light on the fertilization for, I haven't been giving a lot of fertilizer to most of my plants these days. Not for any particular reason. It's just being absent-minded and just running around doing a lot of things and just making sure that they're watered, because I would have to mix up the solution into the water. And I always do very diluted anyway, so it's not like a big shock that they'll be missing it. But yeah, this plant had hardly any, especially over the winter. But I kind of like it, leggy, because it almost looks like little palm trees. Okay, that's just me. But yeah, I've already taken cuttings from it. You can see I took a cutting from here. I took a cutting from back there, and that was like some point last year probably. And yeah, it started to sprout in other places. But yeah, doing extremely well. Coleus, for the most part, they do very, very well in yarn, in acrylic yarn, and no problems there. So let's put this one towards the back. Sorry about the mess, guys. I haven't cleaned up. Okay, next up, we have this one. You've seen this in a video before. It got a little sunburned because I had it in direct sun, and I know they don't like that. So I moved it to under LED lights, grow lights. But, you know, it's still thriving, and this is the growth point here, at least one of them. There's another one down there. And this one was put in yarn, I think it was like towards the end of last year, like in the autumn or winter, I can't remember. But look at those roots. They are loving it. I also had forgotten to water this, and it dried out a lot, and I thought it wasn't going to make it, but it did. It made it. But the roots look really healthy. And again, this one has not been getting the feed that it deserves. So I'm going to do that like right after this video. I always say that. You guys are the ones that help keep me on the straight and narrow. So, so yeah, I'm going to fertilize this as well. But this is a Cissus rhombifolia or rhombifolia. It's a trailing plant in the grapevine family, house plant, indoor plant. Really, really cool. And when they're taken care of properly, they grow very quickly and they're very vigorous. This one, obviously, it dried up and then it was in too much sun, so it kind of chilled out for a little bit and stunted. And I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you, but it's growing back. We'll be fine. And it has nothing to do with, obviously, with the acrylic yarn, because that's doing great. All right, let's put that one back. Next up, we have, in front of all the mess, this one you've probably seen. This one has been around for quite some time. This is the Tradescantia baby bunny bellies. And it used to be really, 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 really long. And then I took a massive cutting and I made 2 plants out of it. But they've been in yarn the whole time. Let's see if we can see any roots. They're along the bottom mostly. I don't know if you can see any. They're kind of dark. There you go. There's some in there. But yeah, this has been in yarn for, oh God, a long time. Probably longer than the Coleus, I'd say. But yeah, it just keeps trailing and growing and nice and healthy. This was another one that I had forgotten to water because it's kind of out of the way from where I normally would be walking around. And I noticed it was kind of all limp. So I said, and I watered it, and that was like a couple days ago. But it's back to itself for the most part. And it loves the acrylic yarn setup. And yeah, and again, this one has not been fertilized. I'm going to do that after. But as you can see, it's not doing so bad, not too shabby. I love the color on the underside too. And the leaves feel very soft, hence the name Baby Bunny Bellies. Okay. And last but not least for this video, you've seen this one before. She has been in many videos. No, just a couple. This is my Pothos, my Baltic Blue Pothos. There you go. Epipremnum pinnatum, but the Baltic Blue. Not the Cebu Blue, the Baltic Blue. This is the one that fenestrates rather young. And it's been in yarn for a very long time. It has grown considerably. I took a cutting right there, as you can see, and it's grown more. Another growth point here, and another one here and here. So let me back up so you can see. It's doing pretty well. It probably would like a moss pole or something to grow up, but I don't really do the moss pole thing because I don't have enough room. I barely have enough room to live as it is. All these plants. But let's take a look at the roots. Ta-da! This one had gotten fertilizer more recently than any of the others, but those roots are all wrapping around the bottom. Look at that. Loving this setup. It really does. And out of all of the Pothos that I've tried in acrylic yarn, this one in particular has done the best. I have, which one is it? It's a sport of another Pothos that doesn't have any color. I guess it's the Manhula sport that has like light green and dark green instead of the cream and the dark green. That one does okay in the acrylic yarn. I have that in the other area, but some of the others didn't do as well as this one did. And I don't know if it is the yarn, or I don't know if it was just the way I was taking care of it, because as you know, I have been neglecting my plants. So anyway, this plant is doing great. And yes, I have forgotten to water this one too, hence the dry tips, and it would start to wilt. But I've been trying my best to keep my eye on it and keep it doing well and thriving. So just an example of very long-term growth in acrylic yarn, 4 different families of plants, and they're thriving and doing well. Most of the other plants that I had in acrylic yarn that I'd shown, either I took a lot of cuttings and I sold them off, or I actually got rid of the plants. I gave them away or sold them, or I forgot to water. If they're in a small vessel, that's the worst because it'll dry right up, and then it just expired. But you know, as long as you take care of your plants like you should, like I should, they thrive. They do great. And again, these are all with minimal fertilization, minimal fertilizer being given. When I do fertilize, lately I've been using the Better Grow Orchid fertilizer, only because it has macronutrients and it has higher nitrogen content than the Maxi Grow that is for hydroponic vegetative plants. You would think that the nitrogen would be higher, but it's not as high as the orchid fertilizer. So I've been using the orchid fertilizer and having great results with that. So yeah, and I take a little scoop, I mix it in about 12 ounces of water, and I just use drops of that. I don't even use I don't fill up the whole reservoir with the fertilizer. I just use drops of it at a time. And it's really just by eye. I don't have like a formula, but as you can see, even without the fertilizer, the plants are okay. Fertilizer just gives them a little kick. Anyway, if you have any questions on any of these beauties, and if you have any questions on growing in acrylic yarn, there are plenty of videos that I have up on that, but it will continue to be my favorite growth method for some plants, not all. Some plants just kind of don't seem to like it very much. Other plants like these are much easier to maintain in acrylic yarn. My Pothos that I've had in soil are a challenge sometimes. They really are a challenge, but these guys do well. Same thing with Coleus. Coleus in soil, if it's not like a cactus soil, it'll rot indoors. So the acrylic yarn doesn't have anything to rot in the actual yarn because it's synthetic, it's acrylic. Excuse me. So they do well. They do great, even if you keep them damp or wet. Same thing goes for the baby bunny bellies, Tradescantia, and the cissus. Anyway, any questions at all about anything, just reach out. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I will see you in the next video.